Hello, everyone. We will be here. Yep, we are streaming. So, welcome. Thanks for joining. We will be getting started in just a moment. I'm going to get my speech chat going. All right. So, if you're in chat, let me know by saying hello. We're going to talk about Swift today, kind of doing an introduction to Swift and getting ready to program if you're starting with Swift. I actually learned some things today, folks. Yeah, it happens. I learn things all the time too. So, want to see who all's in chat and what you're interested in. All right. So, let people get here. And yeah, speech chat says we have 0 watching. I know that's probably not true. So if you're here, say hello and let me know that you're around. And also talk about what you're interested in. If you're interested in, what kind of stuff you're interested in, that sort of thing. So, yeah, obviously Taylor's here and she said testing.
Yep.
And even though it says there's 0 watching, so isn't that fun?
Oh yeah.
So somebody's wrong. um, it's really cool. Learned a lot about Swift for this tutorial tonight. We're using VS Code, Visual Studio Code, not Xcode this time. You'd think with Swift we'd be writing in Xcode, but we are not. So we are going to be writing some code in VS Code. So many codes.
All right.
And we're going to be writing Swift. So if you are here in chat, tell me your questions and we will try to get to them. Swift is Apple's programming language. They made it open source so you can get it on pretty much any platform. And there's even on Mac, you could type Swift space REPL. That's read, evaluate, print, loop. And it's basically makes Swift into an interpreted language. It's going to be slow because Swift is a compiled language, but it will work. So it's good stuff. So we are going to write us some Swift. So we've already done streams on Python and JavaScript. So today we're going to be focusing on Swift, kind of the third of the 3 languages that I like to work with. So we are going to get started with that. And I guess it would help if I shared my screen, right?
Oh yeah.
So let me do that. All right, we've got a shared screen. Okay, so just like in Python, we are to print something to the screen, we're going to write the word print. And we're going to use a left parentheses and a double quote, and we're going to write hello world. We've already written a line of Swift. That easy. Command S or Control S in Windows. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a terminal. I'm just going to use the button to bring up the bottom part of the screen, and that brings up me a terminal. And I'm going to type Swift, and then I'm going to write tutorial.swift. And it comes back with hello world. Just that simple, just like Python. Now, Variables. Let's talk about some variables. We can put variables on the screen. So let's make a variable. So we have two ways of making a variable. We could say var name equals double quote Michael, double quote. Var means that the variable can be changed. So I can then say var name, or no, not var, but name equals double quote Taylor. And so when we print the variable, and we could do two ways of printing the name. We could put backslash, left parentheses, and then name, right parentheses, double quote, right parentheses. That will print out the name. We go in our terminal. It would help if I save the file. Let's run it. And the name is Taylor. So even though we put Michael, but we replaced it with Taylor. Now, what we can also do is change name to, we're going to change that line at line 3 to let second name equals Taylor. So now we have two variables. Now, the difference between let and var is let in Swift means that the variable cannot be changed. It's not mutable. It is a static variable. So second name cannot change, but name can. This means you'll get an error if you try to change second name. So let's do that. So let's do second name equals double quote John. Just a random name. So we're going to save it. We're going to run it again. Oh, we got an error. Internal.swift tutorial.swift :3:1 note, change let to var to make it mutable. So it tells you what to do, which is very interesting. And you know why? That's almost the error you get in Xcode. So it seems like the way that the Swift REPL works is it shows you the errors as if you were in Xcode. So that's pretty interesting. So like we just said, let is for constant variables that will not change. We have any questions so far? Anybody out there that would like to ask a question or have any thoughts about Swift? I think it's kind of neat that we're comparing all three of these programming languages together at once. So for 3 days, you've got 3 different languages. Now, as we've done in the other streams, how do we get input from the console? And our answer is ChatGPT, folks. Let's see what it tells us. Read line. A lot better than JavaScript's read line, that's for sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to comment out this line that says the second name equals whatever. And after our the name is line, so on line 6, we're going to write print left parentheses double quote, please enter your favorite color. Question marks, double quote, right parentheses. Now, interestingly, GitHub Copilot says, just go ahead and ask for a read line. ChatGPT says to do something different. It says, if let name or if let color equals read line, then print something. So we're going to follow ChatGPT here. So now Copilot's catching up. So it says I have if let color equals, and then it's going to fill in read line, and then the next line it'll fill in print left parentheses double quote, your favorite color is backslash left parentheses color, right parentheses double quote, right parentheses, and then a right curly brace on the last line. So that's the one we want. Then we're going to type else on that last one. And then it will say print, you did not enter a color. And the reason why we do this in Swift is Swift does not like anything that's empty. No nil or null values. So this is much easier than JavaScript's. So we're going to go ahead and run this. And we've got an error. What's our error? I may have forgotten to save it again. Oops. I did. Please enter your favorite color. Blue. Your favorite color is blue. I'm going to run it again, and I'm not going to type anything and press enter. And it says your favorite color is. So it did not catch that. So else is not so let's do else if so if we don't enter anything, it just doesn't pick it up. So the else is if for some reason the read line didn't work, not if you didn't enter anything. Okay. But we could, do some more stuff. This also brings in conditions. So we have if let color equals read line. That's an if statement, much easier, in my opinion, than JavaScript. So, something we haven't really talked about is in a conditional statement, you have a few things you can check for. If truth with double equals, if Michael is tired by the sound of a yawn, seriously, you could check greater, is greater than or equal to, is greater than, or is less than, or is less than or equal to. There's other things like if a string contains characters and all kinds of different things. But basically, you're just checking to see if something is true. So to check if something is correct, you would do if for part on the left equals part on the right. In this case, we're doing if color equals read line. So we're saying if the user enters something on read line, do a thing. And also color is, because we're using let, it can't be changed. So it just takes it the first time and then it's done. So we can do that in Swift. We can do a variable declaration in a if statement to see if that happened, if the variable is declared correctly. All right, any questions so far? Swift is a great language. I really enjoy it. No parentheses, no semicolons on the conditionals, none of that. You don't have to worry about indentation or any of those things. So, yeah, any questions? Anybody out there? If you want to say hi, I would love to hear from you. And I'll continue to do these programming streams. I really enjoy them. So I hope people will show up more, and I will be on video other times, but while we're out and about, no video. So any thoughts or questions? All right. So all the languages we've worked with are type inferred languages, as in the variables are inferred based on the context. Swift does this as well, but it does it in a different way. We can do type inferred languages, but we could also specify. So we could do var example string colon, and then the word string with a capital S equals double quote hello world. So that's an example string, and Copilot's going to be helpful again and say example int, which is an integer, colon int with a capital N equals 5. And let's see what else it'll give us. Var example double, which is a kind of decimal, colon double equals 5.5. Example float is 5.5, so they're both kinds of floating point. Var example bool, colon bool equals true, and it's a lowercase t and f, unlike Python for that. Then we have example array, which is the same as a list in other languages. And the variable type for this is left square bracket string, or whatever type int, or whatever, right bracket equals left bracket hello, double quote, comma, space, double quote, world, double quote, right square brace. So we have two values in that array. Example dictionary. Dictionaries are kind of like objects. They use your curly braces. Do they use curly braces? They use square braces, it looks like. Yes. So it's a square brace. So hello dictionary, or example dictionary, colon, left square brace string, colon, string, because it's a key. The key is a string, and the value is also a string. We could have our values be whatever. We could also change the word string to any. So I'm going to press tab, and I'm going to go over here and change string to any in the second area here. So our keys are strings and our values are any. So, and then it has one key value set, which is left square bracket, double quote hello, double quote colon, space, double quote world. And I'm going to add another by doing after world which has a double quotes around the word world, put comma, and I'm going to do double quote. And it tries to add Michael colon Taylor. That's kind of funny. So we're going to put age, double quote, colon, space, 39, right square brace. So that is totally legitimate because it's an any, string colon any. We have tuples. We're not going to worry about that this time. But I'll press tab to get it to go through. We have example optionals. Is an optional is it can be null, like have no value. So then we have example optional 2, that's unneeded. So I think, okay, this one shows string and it shows it's nil. So that's an example of how it could be optional. Then we have let's see. For example, optional, I'm kind of just going down the rabbit hole of Copilot. But it's kind of bringing up some weird stuff now. So I think we're good there. Okay. So we've done several things now. We've gone through several of the basic variable types. Do we have any questions? Any questions?
I don't think so.
Well, I know we don't have any yet, but if you would like to put any, type them in and we'll answer them. I feel like this might go faster than the JavaScript one. I think the questions really are what makes these kind of streams really go longer.
Yeah. And I'm also trying to run payroll and run a stream. Doesn't really work so well.
So let's move on to functions. So to create a function, we just type func, and then we'll use what Copilot recommends, which is example function, left parentheses, right parentheses, space, left curly brace. And on the next line, we indent in the function, print, left parentheses, double quote, hello world. I'm going to change world to function. And then we have a double quote, right parentheses for our print statement, and then a right curly brace on the next line. To run the function, we would just type out example function, left parentheses, right parentheses. And we haven't saved in a while, so let's do that. And let's run our code. So, and then we have it comes up with hello function. So great. That's a basic function. Now let's do something we haven't done in other languages, and it works the same way. We're going to create a function, and we're going to put name equals name colon string as an argument. So you could specify the type of variable in there, and so this one's going to print hello backslash parentheses name in the function. So now outside the function, we're going to do example function 2 name colon Michael. So in Swift, if you have an argument, it always will have the argument name for readability, so you know what it is.
That's nice.
So in the function call, you always have the argument name. So like name or name colon space and then the value you're passing in. or age colon space and then the integer variable or whatever you're going to pass in. So that kind of does more for readability. Now, what I could also do is, let's do example function 3. And Copilot is showing how we can return something. And so it says example function 3, name colon string in the parentheses for the argument. And then to return, we will put dash greater than, like an arrow, and then the word string space left curly brace to start the function. In the function, we have return space double quote hello space backslash left parentheses name right parentheses double quote. Then your right curly brace on its own line. And then we're going to call that function. Example function 3. Name is Michael. Okay. Now we're going to make another function. Let's see what it gives us. Example function 4. Name string, age is int. So it shows 2 arguments. That is not exactly what I want to do. So we're going to do func example function 4 left parentheses underscore name colon space string right parentheses dash greater than string left curly brace. Now we're going to return the same thing we did before. The difference is when we go to call the function, example function 4 left parentheses double quote Michael right double quote right parentheses. What's the difference? Can anybody tell me what the difference is? So the difference is you do not have the argument name in front of the value. So this is more like it would be in other languages where you just have to know the arguments that you're in, the parameters that you're putting in the function. So that underscore space and before the variable, before the name states, don't show it visually. So that's how that works. And that's kind of the basics of functions in Swift. Do we have any questions so far that you would like to put into chat? Swift is one of my favorite languages until you get to optionals, and it's kind of my least favorite. But yeah. Okay. Now, let's go to the more fun things. Let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT, again, problem solving, how to speak text using Swift and text to speech. Okay, we're getting information. Okay, so we're going to use what's called the AV speech synthesizer. And so what we need to do is go to the top of our file, and we need to import an Apple library called AV Foundation. This will only work if you're using a Mac.
Oh, really?
It's an Apple library.
Okay.
AV Foundation. Okay, and at the bottom here, we're going to be all fancy and put this in a function. Func speak text, left parentheses, underscore text colon string. Oh, well, it just wrote the program for us. So let utterance equals AV speech utterance, left parentheses string, colon text, right parentheses. Utterance dot voice equals AV speech synthesis, left parentheses language, ENUS. Let synthesizer equals AV speech synthesizer, synthesizer dot speak utterance, colon, or left parentheses utterance. And I'm old school because it's actually now synthesizer dot speak, left parentheses utterance. It used to be synthesizer dot speak utterance, left parentheses utterance. I've been programming for a long time. So now we need to run the function. So we're going to type what Copilot says. Speak text, left parentheses, double quote, hello world. Boom. Press tab and save it, and we're going to run it. And we... didn't hear anything. So it looks like there's a problem at example function 4. So what's the problem? Okay, so we're not doing anything. We're getting to a call to example function 3. So since example function 3 is returning something, we're going to do var result equals example function 3. And we're going to do, in example function 4, we're going to put result equals that so that those errors go away. So for some reason, it's not speaking the text. Let me run it from the command line and let's see if that does anything different.
That's weird that it's doing that.
Yeah, it does not do it. So I wonder if, because we don't have all the libraries, if it's not working. Since we're using the REPL and it's not being compiled. So if you were to run this in Xcode, this would actually work. So even though we couldn't get that last bit to work, that's everything that we've been doing in the last few programs. So do we have any questions about what we've done? I mean, this is a 30-minute quick dive into Swift code. So it's been a great little short stream, shorter than the other two.
Yeah.
But also it's easier. I think Swift is easier than JavaScript in certain ways. And, we'll be doing other streams of doing more complicated things with these different languages. We'll be doing machine learning. We'll be doing app development and using things like Beware for Python and React Native and JavaScript and Swift UI for, well, Swift. So we're going to have a lot more content and more streams, but I wanted to show kind of doing all the same things in each individual programming language. And I think we've done that. So this is pretty exciting, and I want to keep doing these, and we'll do more programming challenges as well. So I would like to say thank you to everybody that's been here. This has been a great stream, and we'll be back for more later. So thank you for joining us.